Have you ever considered that there are millions of apps on the Play Store, but the people who create them are no different from you? The only difference is that they've found the right direction, and perhaps you're about to find that same direction today. If you're a computer science student, interested in mobile Android application development, or want to create your first mobile application without coding knowledge, this video will be a game changer for you. This isn't a typical tutorial. It's a complete course where I'll teach you from scratch. We'll start by properly installing Android Studio. Then we'll understand its entire interface, project structure, file system, how the front end works, how to connect the back end, and which languages are used, like Java, C#, etc., all with step-by-step practical demonstrations. And most importantly, during this course, you'll not only learn, but also learn how to build your first real Android application. And if you don't know how to code, there's no need to worry. We'll build a working application using ChatGPT so you can gain insight and ideas for creating your own, ready-to-use application. You'll rarely find such a structured, detailed, and beginner-friendly explanation of Android development on YouTube. So, if you really want to start from scratch and build your own application, skipping this video is a big mistake. Now, without further ado, let's start building your first Android app. In this video, I'm going to teach you Android Studio step by step. Let's start with step 1, where we'll learn how to download and install Android Studio on your system. First, go to your browser and search for Android Studio. Then, open the website that appears first. Once the website is open, click Download Android Studio. Panda 1 recently launched. It's a new version of Android Studio with many changes. A year ago, I made a dedicated video on Android Studio. But now, many things have changed in Android Studio. For example, AI models have been added. A new user interface is available. Performance optimizations are available, along with new SD cards and new virtual devices. So, we'll click here. If you use another operating system, like Linux or Mac, you'll need to scroll down. Scrolling down, you'll find the setup files for all systems. You can download the setup file based on your operating system, whether Windows, Mac, or Linux. If we're Windows users, we'll click here directly on Android Studio. This will open the terms and conditions. Scroll down and click here. Then, download Android Studio for Windows. I already have it downloaded. So, let's proceed directly to the installation. Here's the setup file, which I've already downloaded. Let's run it. As soon as you run the setup file, it will ask for permissions, so click Yes. I already had it installed. So the previous version will already be uninstalled. However, if you're installing for the first time, you won't see it. You'll see an interface like this. My old version, which I already had installed, has been uninstalled. Now I'm going to install Android Studio from scratch, using the latest version. So, click Next. If you want to use a virtual device, check it here. If you don't want to, don't. A virtual device is basically an Android-based operating system. Consider it an Android mobile device, where you can run Android Studio and run, debug, and test your applications on it. Click Next. You don't need to change the system location here. But remember, you should have at least 30 gigabytes of free space on your C drive. Otherwise, you can install on any other drive. But I recommend installing on the C drive because system performance is better on it. I'm repeating this. You should have a minimum of 30 gigabytes of free space on the C drive. Only then should you install Android Studio, because it definitely says there should be up to 500 gigabytes of free space. But after downloading and installing Gradle files, dependencies, packages, jar files, and virtual devices, Android Studio takes up almost 25 gigabytes. Therefore, I recommend you keep as much space as possible. Now, click Next. Then, click Install. Now, let's wait a bit for Android Studio to install. Okay, the installation has been successful. Then, click Next. Check it, and as soon as you click Finish, our Android Studio will automatically launch. This is the new version of Android Studio, called Panda 1. We'll also see changes to the new user interface and AI models, along with performance optimizations. If you're launching Android Studio for the first time, you may need to download the SDK, so download it. However, before using Wi-Fi, make sure you have high-speed internet speeds. And your Wi-Fi shouldn't be interrupted, otherwise, files may get stuck in the SDK, and Android Studio should download and install the SDK only after making this sure. Now, once you've downloaded it, you'll see an interface like this. Here, you'll see a list of all the projects you've recently created or imported. Going to Customizations, you can customize Android Studio from here, such as its color theme, language, and religion. Now, going to the Plugins section, you can install plugins for Android Studio from here. For example, I had Flutter installed here. This allows me to use it for Android development on Android Studio. In Learning, you'll find documentation, help, and resources. Now, let's go to Projects and create a new project for Android Native. As soon as we click on New Project, we'll see a number of templates. But before that, if we look at the sidebar, we'll find templates for a wide range of allows me to use it for Android development on Android Studio. In Learning,